Hey everyone, it's WiNGSPANTT, and as you probably know from the title of the video, I wanted to talk about the Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag trailer. Now you've probably found it online somewhere by now. It's been leaked all over the place, and if you really want, you can probably just search on YouTube Black Flag trailer and just sort by new. Someone's going to be uploading it somewhere. There's really no point. I do have to say I find it pretty ironic that Ubisoft is trying so hard to prevent the piracy of its trailer about pirates. But anyway, I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about the trailer, what my thoughts are about what you see in it. Obviously, if you haven't seen it so far, it's basically Blackbeard the pirate talking about how much of a badass Captain Kenway, the grandfather, great-grandfather, whatever, of Connor is in the West Indies, slaying people, boarding their ships, bedding their women, that kind of thing. So let's talk about the good and the bad. I think one of the most obvious things about the trailer is how much of a focus there is on how cool Kenway is as a character. It's all about Kenway, it's all about how dangerous he is, about how good he is at killing people, about boarding ships, about how much adventure there's going to be. There's so many close-up shots with his face and his suave blonde hair looking kind of like a Lannister from Game of Thrones. But I think what this pretty much shows is that Ubisoft immediately understands that one of the biggest weaknesses in Assassin's Creed 3 was the protagonist, Connor, or even both protagonists, Haytham and Connor. Why are we having two protagonists? Why are we playing as two people? Do we even like these characters? They're trying to immediately distance themselves from having a stoic, kind of boring main character and immediately get into a swashbuckling kind of guy like, I'm going to go on and get some booty and raid ships. So I think that's immediately obvious that that's what the direction they're going for. Is that enough to carry the game? I don't know. We're going to have to see. We're going to have to get a lot more details about the game and what the actual gameplay is going to entail. But I think it's safe to say both A, the fact that it's called Black Flag, B, that everything in the trailer is about pirate ships, and C, the fact that the whole naval battle thing was, you know, kind of like a side story but very popular in Assassin's Creed 3, is that Assassin's Creed 4 is going to focus a lot on naval combat. You know, when you think about it, the game takes place in the West Indies, so there's really not going to be a lot of huge cities. They're mainly just little colonial settlements here and there, rum runners, fishing villages. So there's not going to be a lot of cool cities and huge buildings to climb up and dive down from. It's going to be mainly on ships, going around, pillaging things, boarding ships, fighting. All the naval combat will definitely play a big role. I'm going to go out of my way to say that, and I'm going to go out of my way to say that I'm almost guarantee that the multiplayer in this game is going to be ship-to-ship naval multiplayer. Okay? Now, does that mean that there is no traditional multiplayer? No more Wanted, no more Assassinate and Manhunt? I would even say it's very possible that you will not see that in Assassin's Creed 4, that the multiplayer is instead going to be based around the ship-to-ship combat, because if the single-player experience ultimately comes down to being about piracy, it wouldn't really make sense to carry the multiplayer element to not carry that through. So, you know, for me as a player, that's a little scary. I do enjoy the ship-to-ship stuff. That is still a huge departure from Brotherhood, Revelations, Assassin's Creed 3 multiplayer. But hey, even multiplayer in general is relatively new to Assassin's Creed. Only starting the third game in the series, so I would not be surprised to see it take a huge left turn, or starboard port. I don't know which kind of turn it is. I'm not familiar with ship terms enough. A huge departure from the current multiplayer with Assassin's Creed 4. Look for it. It's going to happen. The other thing is, you know, the cinematics were really cool. You definitely feel like Captain Kenway is a total badass. But I just thought there's a certain element of the writing is just so corny. Like, you have Blackbeard the pirate, who's feared pirate, really fearsome guy, and he spends the entire trailer talking about how Kenway is cooler than him, which to me just seems a little unbelievable. It just seems a little like, why is he trying to convince these people in a pub that they should all, like not hang out with him and go hang out with Kenway instead? There's no real allusion to the idea that Kenway is doing anything other than for the fact that he's a pirate, that he just likes killing people. There's no real feeling that he's an assassin, whereas, you know, even Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed 2, even with 3, with Connor being a little dry, you still got the sense that he was fighting for some kind of cause, that there was an underlying reason, that there was justice that he was fighting for, that goes back, you know, to the whole assassin order, and that feels kind of lost here. It just feels like, hey kids, did you see Pirates of the Caribbean? Well, guess what? You're gonna love this game. It's got pirates. And there were just a couple lines in there that I thought were corny. There's one part where Blackbeard says something like, amongst all the pirates, he is amongst the best. Like, he actually says amongst twice, like right in a row like that, and just as a writer, that just grinds my gears.
For amongst all the gentlemen of fortune sailing these West Indies, he ranks amongst the most clever.
So as far as my personal thoughts about it, I do think that there is a lot of room here for Kenway, the new Kenway, that is to say, to be an interesting character. That's definitely something that was lost between Assassin's Creed 2 and 3. I think we need a protagonist who's going to be relatable, who's going to be kind of like, I want to say scallywag, and I don't think that's too far off for a piracy-themed game. Someone who you can root for, that you can understand a little, who does some human-like things, who's maybe interested in alcohol and women and just plain revenge, but also is, part of the Assassin's Order, part of trying to head off the Templar, efforts, I guess, to dominate the world. Of course, I'm also heavily concerned that this game is going to be rushed, and I know that Assassin's Creed 3 was developed under a long period of time, but ever since 2, with Brotherhood, Revelations, Assassin's Creed 3, with all the spin-off games, including the mobile games and all that stuff, that they're just trying to pump out so much Assassin's Creed. And when you're going to the well that often, you're gonna hit the mud. You're gonna hit the treacle at the bottom of the well eventually. And I'm a little concerned that we're getting close to the treacle, and possibly Assassin's Creed 3 had a little bit of that treacly taste in it. I'm not gonna bring up all the many bugs, all the little problems, the huge number of little hitches and glitches here and there. Oh, I guess I did just bring them up. But my point is, if we're gonna keep pumping these games out, there's going to be suffering in quality. There's gonna be a drop off at some point. And I don't know what studios are working on Black Flag. I don't know why they decide to name it Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. It's not just Assassin's Creed 4 or just Assassin's Creed Black Flag or anything like that. But to me, it's just, I don't know. We're getting to the bottom of the well. So I don't know where they're going to go with the storyline, the single-player storyline, or anything like that. But when things get wrapped up there, also, we're going to hit a dead end with the amount of story we have to tell, present day, past day, everything in between. And of course, the multiplayer for me, as you know from Assassin's Creed point of view, I'm primarily interested in multiplayer. I know a lot of you watching home are invested in the multiplayer, invested in the mind games, in the kind of Turing test aspect of the game, of getting in your opponent's head and tricking them, and them tricking you back, and waiting, and the timing of it, and all that tension. So if that really goes out the window, if we see that die with Assassin's Creed 4 and we're going to go to Naval Combat, I'm not going to say that I won't enjoy the Naval Combat, or I won't try it, but will it be like a focus of my channel if that's what the game becomes? I don't really know. I'm probably going to try to seek out a game that better exemplifies the cat and mouse feeling of it. Maybe Spy Party, if it's, a little closer being done by the time Assassin's Creed 4 comes out. Anyway, everyone, those are all my thoughts. Those are my concerns, my excitement. I generally thought that the trailer looked good, that the game could be good. But those are my general thoughts. I want to know what you think. Do you think Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag has a chance to be good? And don't just be a fanboy. I want to hear, what do you think could go wrong with the single player? What can go wrong with the multiplayer? What could be good with both? And do you give a crap about the new Captain Kenway? I'm thinking of Connor. Anyway, everyone on WiNGSPANTT from TopTierTactics.com. I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.